This is a fun toy, man. So weird. Like a cartoon, those tires.
Yep.
Before flying this thing, we had to swap the floats for the massive tires. Huge thanks to my friend Jim, who owns this awesome airplane.
From my experience, it's fun to be able to switch it, to keep it fresh, and it's a bit of a challenge and something new.
I missed my chance to fly it on floats this season, but I'm first in line for the Tundra Tires. I started tailwheel flying in a well-loved 1956 Super Cub. Today, I'm flying a much newer model. And other than the massive Tundra tires, it's pretty much the same. The biggest difference, though, is the panel. It's got a lot more going on.
So we got mixture in the carb heat over here. Yeah. My avionics is there. This is stuff that I don't really need, just cabin heat type stuff. Otherwise, nothing else significantly.
Battery and master.
Separate.
Right. And the beacon we've got.
This radio I tested just a minute ago to make sure my headset was working. We're gonna Bose it up today.
Jim is really handy and does owner-assisted maintenance on this thing.
We do a lot of commuting, and I've put 100 hours on it this year so far, and it's a good time for sure.
We spent most of the summer talking about trying to coordinate getting float flying together, but I knew when Jim sent me this picture that wasn't going to happen.
The nuts and bolts and the tools and a little bit of fabrication, that's kind of what I do, in my day job, so that part of it is almost fun for me, but the important stuff, leave it to the pros.
The place we're at is one of those hidden gems in aviation. Ken owns it, and he's always up to help out with any project that drops in. This place is worthy of its own episode.
Today we're going to reconfigure this airplane, take it off the floats, and put it back under the wheels for winter flying.
We've done several episodes with Lee from Kovacek Aircraft Services in the shop. He's awesome, so definitely check those out.
You take the weight of that. As long as the weight's off, we're good. Next year we'll have it figured out in 45 minutes. Yeah, let me knock this one out and then both can come down. Ready? There she goes. Yeah. I'm gonna spin that one around and take those two out. Maybe just take a bit of weight off that one. There she goes. We can go straight out the front.
We'll check back in with the guys in the shop in a minute, but thanks again to Jim for letting me fly his airplane.
I texted him yesterday and said we're clear to go up with Steve, and he texted me back, no way. So I didn't respond because I knew he was pulling that tune.
Get prop!
It definitely took some adjusting to get used to this new panel and figure out where I needed to look for the engine instruments.
There we go. Check 1, 2. Check. I'm here. That's going to be interesting looking at a digital tack.
Well, the green dot moves around too,
Okay.
and where it's at now is at 1,000, and then it goes up, to 15 and 2 and 25.
Okay.
So,
Alright, so we're just
each
getting
dot is kind of worth 200 RPM or so.
All the configurations are new to me. I learned on Cessnas. First tailwheel plane, had to do a checkout to learn how to fly. Then we switched it onto the big wheels, which came with it as well, and that was something new. You can't see out the front.
So yeah, it's a little bit more of a visibility challenge, and he was even suggesting reducing some tire pressure. He thinks his tires are too hard, but I don't have one of those ATV tire pressure gauges.
Yeah, he said he had them high for landing on pavement, or he wanted them, what is it? No, he wanted them higher for pavement.
Yeah, because there's a substantial amount of drag when you touch down. The sheer size alone is what makes it a bit of a challenge. One thing to do too while you're here is just sit in your normal position and get used to the sight line. This is what you're going to be looking at in a 3-point attitude, because I don't want you trying to use our old Cub's sight lines as a reference.
Well, the good news is that I'm so far from current on the old Cub.
You got nothing to remember anyways.
I think the last thing I flew actually was the Stearman, and this kind of looks like the Stearman.
And in case you missed it, check the description for links. We've done tons of other tailwheel training, including the Stearman, which was awesome.
Okay, let her up.
Everett traffic gets Quebec to the Oscars going straight out from 127 Burlington.
Okay.
There we go.
Tail up a bit.
Yeah, I'm trying. I just don't push too hard.
Okay, now pull.
Oh yeah, so they won't rush anything. Got lots of room. There we go. And power back.
I was definitely impressed that the performance didn't seem to suffer with all that drag out there.
Look at the tires still spinning.
Hit the brakes.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, I can feel the wobble.
Burlington exec, it's Heritage 1. Let's get the flaps up and cleaned up. And then just call Heritage 1 and ask him if we can be of any assistance.
Say that?
Yeah.
Heritage 1, it's Quebec to the outskirts. Can we be of any assistance?
Yeah, we're 5 miles to the east. We'll be passing over your field about 1,800, 1,900 feet. We're en route to Kitchener for a Mitchell bomber.
Okay, very cool. I don't know what to say. Okay, so I'll level.
Do you have anybody in the circuit there?
Yes, we do. We got a 172 in the circuit.
One aircraft in the circuit.
Okay, that was it.
There you go. It's a Mitchell bomber at 1,900 feet heading over the field.
That's pretty murky.
It is murky. Well, they're going to Kitchener, and those old airplanes, believe it or not, they are not certified for IFR.
I believe it.
So everything from the Lancaster bomber to the Harvards all have to fly VFR.
So what was his initial call that made you think we should ask for assistance?
Well, he called Burlington Executive, this is Heritage 1. So I'm like, what does he want?
Right,
He should be calling Burlington Unicom or something. Obviously, he just wanted to know if anybody was in the traffic pattern because of his low altitude. So very prudent of him to call.
Yeah.
More than a lot of people would do.
I left that in the cut because I thought it was interesting, but let's get back to the training.
And it's also very draggy with these tires, so when you pull a power bag, it's not going to glide as well as ours does.
Yeah, so I'll do this about 65.
But he has VGs on it, so what you'll find is that it's quite nice and controlled even at low speeds. Lots of room.
Yeah, I'm just going to trying to smash it down.
Yeah, just worry about landing it, don't worry about where.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah, so you feel that little bit of a lunge forward as you touch down.
Because of the drag from the tires?
The drag from the tires, because they're not only draggy, but it takes a fair bit of oomph to get them spinning. So when we touch down, I could see the attitude of the airplane, and you'll see it in the video. I could see the attitude of the airplane. It nosed over a little bit.
And I guess that's part of the reason why pavement landing is hard on these massive tires.
You just got to be aware that that's going to happen.
So be ready.
Well, it's like when Jim and I first came in here last winter in the snow and I got stuck here. It was a thick layer of snow with a ice crust on it, and these tires just broke through it. They had no inclination to ride up on top. You know, I touched down in the snow, and immediately I could feel everything going, oh, and I'm like, whoa!
Right.
Pull right back and hope for the best.
You guys have photos of that?
I got one photo of it.
I want to see that.
There's in the background, you can see a couple guys walking over from the hangars.
They helped get us free, and then Dennis did a couple solo circuits to build a bit of a track for the wheels, and then we were able to get out of there.
I just want to make sure. Yeah, that goes onto there. These ones, do they go up to here like this or something? Bam.
It's actually surprisingly light.
Oh my God, he's using vice grips.
See, I was gonna.
Amateur.
I was gonna chirp you.
Rookie.
No, it's okay.
No, we're gonna be okay. Hold it. Yeah. Perfect, perfect. That's good. Yeah, just like that for a sec.
I was really impressed with how smoothly this process went, honestly. That's kind of why I just montaged it. It really wasn't worth being instructional. But check the description for some details about the weight and balance implications and things like that.
So.
And the final step is to get the brake lines reconnected and bled. We'll check back in after doing some landings. But first, I want to remind everybody about the FlightChops.com monthly contest. Each month there's a really amazing prize pack, and we've got this really cool mechanism. It's totally spam free, and it allows the sponsors to get some exposure. I could not do this kind of thing alone. I don't know how to run a business. iCloth Avionics has been a really supportive sponsor, and they're totally helping me with the back end of this. And this month they're doing the featured prize, which is an iPad Mini 4.
So fog is forecast to be coming, so we'll just keep an eye on Merc. It just takes some getting used to looking at a digital. I'm using my ears more than anything else. That doesn't seem intuitive to me just yet. I've got too much power on.
Get some big flap in there.
Yeah, we're getting ready. I just didn't want to put flaps up with power. It's goofy. A little high, but that would bounce.
Yeah,
I felt the braking that time.
Yeah, you feel a little lunge. Okay, let's retract the flap and keep going.
Alright, here we go. Getting enough runway? Yeah. Yeah, let's do one more. I'm feeling pretty good about the intuitive vibe of it all. I think I was a little slow on that last one, but that was kind of intentional because I didn't feel the sink. Is it cleaner than FKO or something?
It is cleaner. I mean, it's obviously shinier and the metal parts fit together better, so it's a little bit more aerodynamic.
Okay, yeah, so I knew it had vortex generators, but I was forgetting to think about that, but it definitely didn't feel that, like I know with FKO suddenly the sink really kicks in when you get to 60.
And that's because the flow over the upper surface of the wing delaminates, right? It goes turbulent and that creates more drag. So if you got a VG, that's helping to hold the boundary layer on longer, so it takes longer for it to go into that slow flight realm.
So I absolutely noticed that.
Yeah.
That was very tangible. So this airplane feels quite different than FKO in that regard.
On this one, you can watch how the airplane just keeps on flying nicely as the speed bleeds off to like 40. I'd never get away with that in the other Super Cub I fly. And this kind of bites me when we get home to the short field that I need to land on.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Alright, flaps are going 10. And here we go.
I find that once you're tailwheel trained, the less you think about it while you're doing it, the better you're going to perform.
Yeah, that's definitely the case.
Push that brake. Yeah. Oh yeah, no problem. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay. That should be good. Hang on, I'll tighten that. I think that's everything.
And of course, the final step is for the AME to sign off on the logbook. Thanks again to Lee and the team at Kovacic Aircraft Services for letting us film this process.
So what do you think? You want to try and land it on 2.7?
Yeah, let's try it. Oh, you like on the grass?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm hitting my mark.
I think so too. That's the one nice thing with the VGs is you can play around at the slow end a lot more. The transition into slow flight is not so radical.
Right.
And you can kind of just hold it at the right attitude, just tickle the power a little bit, bring it to the touchdown point, and as soon as you chop the power, it just sits much breezier, so don't bring too much energy over the fence.
It is much breezier?
No, I said there isn't much breezier.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, so I'm trying not to. That's amazing how smooth this is this slow. Crazy.
And you're not that slow, you need to slow it down more.
Oh, well, anyway, I'm going to have to go
It is what it is.
Yeah, floating too long.
Yeah.
It's just scary to see the number less than 60, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the bounces from the bumps. I'm not hitting the brakes yet.
Stick all the way back and just start feathering the brakes on. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I didn't want to hit them too hard, but I guess with those big wheels, it's hard to over-brake, eh? Cause
that's good.
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely had a little too much energy there, but...
Yeah, I could kind of feel it. That's why I was cautioning you about it. Because if you're not used to it, you'll think it's normal.
Yes. And my brain was looking at the number being like, it's under 60, but my body was like, but it feels like energy. Interesting. So that's basically the vortex generators doing that.
A combination, probably that, and as you said, the cleaner airframe, the shinier paint.
Thanks again to all the supporters on Patreon, and of course the sponsors are really helping bring these budgets up to real production level, so I can focus on the art and we can really make the show we want to see. Last month, Zach won all this stuff plus the A20 headset from Bose. This month, you can win that $1,000 prize pack from all the other sponsors, plus the iPad Mini 4 from iCloth Avionics. Visit flightshops.com to win. And huge congratulations to Jim and his wife Laura for welcoming their daughter Roberta into the world. She was born shortly after we filmed this episode. I think it's awesome that they call her their second cub. And as always, keep your flight chops sharp.